Welcome to Week 17 IDP Guys Start Sit Show. This is championship weekend for some of you guys, and that is awesome. Let us know in the comments if you made the championship in your leagues. And we are here today to answer your start sit questions so you can be that long desired fantasy football champion that everybody is seeking each year.
Let's go.
But with that being said, I'm joined here by Mike and Steve. Mike, you just wanted to go ahead and give the subscribers a little bit of what you do.
Yes, sir. I run the tight end rankings for the IDP guys here. I do the weekly waiver wire show that I've been doing every single week this year. I'll do one more next week, every single Tuesday at noon. And I also run the IDP newsletter, one of the only newsletters, I might say the only newsletter, that gives you everything that you need to know for IDP stuff. Free to sign up. Link for that is in my Twitter, which right there on the screen. If you're somehow listening afterwards, at Michael__Scully.
Steve?
I gotta say, I'm not big newsletter guy, but man, I that's like one of the only newsletters I open every single week. It's awesome, dude.
I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, Dynasty Stan on Twitter. I'm content manager here for the IDP guys. Got my hand in a lot of pots here. Do some rankings, DB rankings, Dynasty rankings. Edit these fine fantasy analysts articles every now and then when our awesome lead editor Miss Faith is not available, and just try to kind of herd all the cats here.
Absolutely. So like I said before, we're here to answer your guys' questions. So make sure you put them in the comments below so we can see them and answer them. But also with this week, put the situation that you're in. If you had a bad start on Thursday and you need to catch up, make sure you put that in there. So that way we have a little bit of an idea of how to answer that. So let's start off with a question from Will here. Would you start any of these guys over Jonathan Allen in a dynasty keeper? Rousseau, Buckner, Pay, Young, Sweat, Phillips, or Thibodeau? So 1 point for total tackles and PD as well, and four for a sack, 3 for interception, fumble, and a fumble recovery.
And Allen gave a big zero burger last week, if I recall. So he's probably frustrated quite a few people. I mean, the name that jumps out to me on that pretty awesome list, actually. There's a lot of nice players to choose from there, but Josh Sweat has just been on a freaking tear as of late. He gave you a monster game last week, but he's pretty consistently been getting a sack almost every week, and is starting to contribute more as far as kind of a safe tackle floor. We obviously know what Thibodeau's ceiling is with that game a couple of weeks ago. He sort of came back down to reality, but he's still, I think similar we see rookie wide receivers come on late in the year, and he battled injury all year. If he's healthy and playing and ready to go, he's another option. I would consider both of them over Allen that really jump out to me. The Colts guys just seem really hard to trust these days. I know Buckner had a pretty strong week. I believe it was last week.
2 weeks running.
2 weeks in a row. Yeah, I guess he could be a pick there too, but I just feel like those Colts are in disarray and anything could happen there. So that makes me a little nervous. But the two that jump out for me will be Sweat and Thibodeau. I'm not trusting Chase Young his very first game back yet. So
the name that stuck out to me was actually Buckner, and honestly, and ironically, Kwity Paye as well. I've been a very big Kwity Paye fan all year, and every time he's been out there and not hurt, he's been exceptional. The Giants are a good matchup for both Buckner and Paye. Buckner probably provides you the floor. I think we've seen that Jonathan Allen, we might not have the floor that we want. And he has a ceiling, but I don't think it's higher than most of these guys. And like you said, with Sweat has established a bit of a tackle floor. He's on a good tear. The Saints are a tough matchup there. I think I'd go Paye, man. I really think I would. I think he's a good player. I think the tackles on the New York Giants can be beat. And yeah, the thing is, Yannick Ngakoue is out as well. I don't know how that factors in. That could hurt, honestly.
Yeah, right.
So that's also another variable that if you want to pivot to Buck, I don't think it impacts Buckner, but if you want to pivot to Josh Sweat because you're not sure how Ngakwe impacts the line, wouldn't blame you at all. But either
Yeah.
way, I think we'd take one of those guys over Jonathan Allen.
Yeah, you're right. And the Saints are like the worst matchup for
Yeah.
DEs. So I did
The
not
Saints are
realize that. And who do the Giants have? I'm tough on my schedule this week. Sorry.
Well, the Giants have the Colts.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I see the Colts are they're a decent matchup for. I got them at 12 for the scoring that I see. And then the Giants.
Top half on the edge. I think top 10 for defensive tackles.
Okay.
And I do think the floor will be high with Buckner this week in terms of how much Barkley will probably use. This is a must-win game for the New York Giants. So
yeah,
I think Pay has the upside, Buckner has the floor of this bunch for me.
Yeah, and you know what I was thinking with the Eagles too. If they jump out to a big lead, the starters are coming out. So
well, you got to think. I think New York's gonna be running Saquon because that's their key to victory, right?
Yeah.
So these linebackers and linemen for the Colts should have a pretty decent day if they can get in there for a tackle.
Yeah, like it. Yeah, so I think either of the Colts guys probably ends up being the best pick there. Yeah, I think right. I mean, what do you think about Allen? He's just been disappointing as of late.
Yeah, I still don't hate him because I don't mind the matchup against Cleveland. I think we know, in the same sense, we know what the Giants want to do. We know what Cleveland wants to do, and that's still run the ball. And we know Jonathan Allen's still going to get a ton of snaps, but I think we've just seen too much fluctuation compared to other names that have just a higher floor and a similar ceiling.
Yeah.
I do gotta say one thing, Mike. The Browns should run the ball, but they tend to throw the ball.
That is true. They don't, and it is. I don't know if you guys beat the Commanders this week. I really don't think you do, to be honest.
I honestly, I don't think so either.
And the Steelers, slim chance, but still a playoff hope right now. All right, just got to win out. The Jets have to lose. The Miami has to lose. Just a few things.
So I would like to say we're playing for a draft pick, but we don't have that either.
Yeah, no, you're not. You're playing for, I don't know, concession sales in 2023.
I hope nobody goes to any more Browns games this year.
Send the message.
Oh, Will also said, Mike, he picked up Ridley for Mason.
So we talked about this on the waiver wire show at the end. And he threw this out there, and I'm so glad you did because this is going to be a huge advantage for you. Calvin Ridley was on the wire in his dynasty league for potentially months. So he dropped Jordan Mason for Calvin Ridley. So I'm very happy without spending a dime of fab as well. So I'm very happy for you, Will, like more than you might know.
Yeah, what a steal. Oh man.
Wow.
Congrats, dude.
Well done.
From Steven here, pick 2, Tranquil, Julian Love, or Chin.
Oh boy. Go ahead. If you got any initial thoughts, I gotta check my own rankings here to see.
I'm double checking something, and I like Julian Love this week. I don't think for some reason DraftKings dropped his tackle when Xavier McKinney came back, but he's had 6 tackles, and I believe it was 5 of the 8 games with McKinney. One of those misses, he got hurt mid-game in. The other 2 were bottom 10, or the other one was a bottom 5 matchup against Tennessee. And the other one was just a miss, but he bailed you out with an interception as well and still had 5 tackles. Right. So I like Julian Love this week, but I have a hard time imagining them benching Tranquil. Oh, we're picking 2. I just realized. Definitely Tranquil for me. And I think I'll play Love over Chin. I think that's my initial take. I can't seem to trust Chin, even though he's had a better form of late.
Yeah. I'm gonna go. I like Tranquil, and I do have Chin higher. So I gotta go with my gut there. But you're splitting hairs. Both are really, really good options. So
yeah.
Marco, good afternoon and Happy New Year.
Hey.
Happy New Year to you too. I hope everybody's celebration ringing in the new year was great, safe, and I hope nobody's too hungover and going to
No.
make bad decisions in their fantasy league from poor choices last night.
Man, I came back off the high of not having any money on it, just enjoying football, watching Ohio State shank the field goal, watching the ball drop, and then just smacking 3 kids in FIFA at like 3 o'clock in the morning. So I'm riding still high of last night. I'm hoping to ride that into a championship.
Oh man, that's quite the night.
Those were great college football games last night.
Yes, they were.
Two great
Tremendous.
ones. One hurt me a little bit more than the other, but I won't talk too much about that. Will said he's totally thinking Sweat, but the snap shares are lower.
Yeah, I think we hit that.
Sean, choose 4, please. LBS Brooks, TJ Edwards, Rashawn Evans, Luvu, Morrow, or Mosley.
Yeah, those are some pretty.
I actually quite like Nicholas Morrow this week, but I'm not gonna. He's one of my prop picks to hit his over this week at 7.5. I wouldn't take him over some of these names though. I think I'm locking in Jordan Brooks, TJ Edwards, Rashawn Evans, and CJ Mosley. I love Mosley this week. I adore Mosley in this matchup. I think he's going to have potentially a top 3 week. So, yeah, that tends to be where I lean. I think TJ Edwards has shown too much to bench him. Jordan Brooks doing the exact same in terms of usage. And Rashawn Evans is still a top 5 tackler in the NFL right now in terms of total tackles. And the matchup remains pretty good if I'm correct. Although I don't really know what to expect from the David Blau Cardinals. But that's where I lean. I'd probably play Brooks, TJ Edwards, Rashawn Evans, and CJ Mosley. CJ Mosley with the most confidence.
Yeah, totally agree. And our rankings have it the same way. Luvu's the closest to, it looks like TJ Edwards, but the 4 that we said, Brooks, Edwards, Evans, Mosley, are all in like the top 10 for this week for our guy, Master IDP. So, and then Luvu's down at 22 and Morrow is hanging around like an LB 2/3 in the 30s. So, I think you got to roll with, I mean, I know like Morrow's coming on strong and has the potential, extra playing time there. But none of these guys are in any danger really of losing playing time or sitting or anything like that. So I think you roll with the 4 of Brooks, Edwards, Evans, and Mosley. Yeah,
I imagine they're the 4 that got you there as well. So you could have that added with maybe a nice September push of the insane star Frankie Luvu had as well.
Right? Yeah, Luvu's he's one of those guys, right? There's just like total boom or bust. It seems like
it'll be very interesting to see how we remember him this offseason because ridiculous start, kind of an up and down mid, and now we're having a strong finish, and we'll see the Cardinals or the Panthers do.
Yeah, he had some injuries, so he's going to be interesting for Dynasty. I think,
goodness, so
are people going to be able to move him, or is nobody going to fall for the trap?
And what happens with Shaq Thompson too? I mean, a lot of things.
Steal his job or what? So it's going to be interesting.
All right, Sean is asking safeties now.
Oh gosh,
needs 2: Brisker, Grant, Hamlin, Love, or Neal.
Need 2 from that. I think Brisker.
I was going to say I think I'm locking in Brisker.
Yeah,
this is tough because Richie Grant's been in excellent form. I'm throwing out DeMar Hamlin right now. It's just too much volatility compared to the other names for me.
Yeah.
Is Neal playing? Because that's the other thing. He's dealing with that knee injury. He's a game time decision,
right?
And a 4 o'clock pick as well, or an afternoon pick. So
I think I pushed Grant higher this week because Cardinals over the past few weeks, despite horrible quarterback options, they're still giving up, I believe, a decent amount of points to the safeties. So Yeah, they are in the top 10, it looks like. Yeah, they are 7, depending on your scoring. But so that's a really good matchup. And like I said, I'm looking. I don't like doing, especially going back all the way to week 1 for looking at these. I like to keep it more current. So I've got weeks 14 through 16 up as my points given up per position. And we know that the Cardinals had been sans Kyler Murray for that time, and they're still giving up a ton of points to the safeties. So 7th overall. So that's why I pushed Grant pretty high this week. So yeah, I'm Brisker and Grant pretty easily between those. Love, I think it's just Giants have the Colts. I don't think the Colts are giving up a ton of points. Yeah, see, the Colts are in the bottom quarter, giving up points to safeties over the past few weeks. So that's why I've got Love depressed a little bit. So he would probably be the closest one to pick over Grant for me, but I'm playing the matchup there in this case.
Yeah, normal world I might consider Ryan Neal, but with the afternoon kickoff and us not knowing who's actually going to be there, I'm not going to risk that in your championship. I agree. I'd go Grant. We're on our 3rd quarterback in as many weeks with the Cardinals, so who knows what to expect. But Grant's been strong of late, so definitely Brisker, and I think I'd go Richie Grant. I don't mind Julian Love either. I do think he's going to have a good week. I agree that I don't know if his ceiling is as high as it normally could be.
Yeah.
Steven is asking Joe Shiesty or Justin Fields.
Holy smokes.
Probably Fields. I love Joe Burrow, and it's a huge game for Burrow. So I don't blame you for going with it, but I mean, you can't say no to Fields, right? I mean,
and Burrow's got to throw the ball to stay in this game.
Yes,
it's going to be a high-scoring game, and both quarterbacks are going to be airing.
I could see it being a slugfest, to be honest. I could see that outcome. Both defenses, I think, are better than advertised, or better than public perception is in terms of the Bengals and the Bills. But yeah, I still agree. I think they're both going to air it out, and I just can't bench Fields against Detroit, especially when I know Detroit's going to put up points.
Oh man, but we see what Joe Burrow does in the fantasy playoffs. What happened? Oh man, this is just so hard for me. Yes, all of the numbers point to Fields, right? We've got him number 2 QB in the rankings. Detroit is 3rd in giving up points to the quarterback over the past few weeks. Everything points to Fields, but it's Joe Burrow in the fantasy playoffs. If he drops a 40 burger, you're just gonna, and it somehow costs you that game. I mean, I don't know.
Can I pass along what's it called? So some assurances for you potentially. The last time Fields played Detroit, he had 167 passing yards, 2 passing touchdowns, an interception, but he ran 13 times for 147 yards and scored 2 more on the ground. I think I'm locking in 80 yards rushing, and if I do that, then I find it hard to pass that up.
That was going to be my next question. How has Detroit been doing against athletic quarterbacks that can move?
I think quarterbacks in general, they've been but I mean, I don't think they have anyone to stop.
Well, right, because we know their linebackers stink. I mean, everyone
how has he lasted the entire year?
I know, it's unbelievable.
Oh my goodness.
Rodrigo's a dynasty darling, sure, but he's not. You check out his PFF grades and stuff. It's not all that it's cracked up to be. So, right, especially against running quarterbacks, that they're gonna struggle big time. That pass rush has been better as of late. So with that James Houston coming out of nowhere the past couple of weeks. So I think. But it's a divisional opponent. Did they learn from that matchup? Are they going to adapt and adjust and try to contain him? But I know my brain is saying Fields, my heart is saying Burrow. So
go.
I'm gonna officially say Fields because it's too much data to ignore. But I understand the dilemma here. Those are 2 really good quarterbacks. And again, we've seen what Joe Burrow does. That's a totally arbitrary, irrational argument with no substance behind it, but it's Joe Burrow in the fantasy playoffs. And against seemingly a really interesting and potential shootout matchup. But yes, I could see that game going, not the way everyone is expecting. Everyone's going to hammer the over, and we could see, we often see games like that disappoint people's expectations for the shootout. So Fields, but
luckily
fine,
this is
no
not
more
a Thursday night game.
Yeah. And oh, sorry, go.
I was gonna say, or else we would see like a 9, 7 game.
Oh, we had a barn burner with Josh Dobbs on Thursday night. I don't know what you're talking about. But my last thing I'll throw on this, I will also say Deshaun Elliott's also out, which only helps Fields' case as well. I think he's a quality player, and they don't have anyone else.
Yeah.
But now the other thing, I made a few adjustments to the tight end rankings this morning. I moved Cole Kmet ahead of Dallas Goedert this week.
Oh, nice.
And I'm making that call myself in a dynasty league. I'm rocking with my take on that. I do believe Chicago is going to put up points.
Okay. Let's do it. Fields officially.
Infinite possibilities.
Hey.
He has Adam Thielen, Brandon Ayuk, DJ Moore, Isaiah Hodgins, DK Metcalf, Zach Moss. He needs to choose 2 to start and then 1 to flex.
What a weird group of names.
Holy
I love it.
Smokes.
I'm playing DJ Moore. That's kind of locked in for me right now. He's been exceptional with Sam Darnold, who has also been exceptional. I believe Sam Darnold is 3rd in passer rating over the last 4 weeks, or 4th, I think, actually. So basically, never was a bust. I love the guy. But the other thing I'm looking at is Ayuk. I love the matchup. Debo's obviously still out. That's probably where I lean, is probably Ayuk and DJ Moore here. As much as I'd love to say DK or Hodgins, I think the Jets win that game. And I think Zach Moss is a fine play, but I just like DJ Moore and Ayuk too much. Oh, 1 to flex as well.
He needs a 3rd, So
and you keep going while I consider that now.
Well, yeah, I'm right on board. For me, the 2 immediate starts are more in Metcalf for me. Our rankings really like Metcalf this week, so I'm going to roll with that. So I think those are pretty easy for me. And then, yes, I also am in on Ayuk. I'm not leaving any championship hopes up to Zach freaking Moss. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
He might be getting the volume. I don't care. He's awful. He's no good. I don't want him. I don't want him tainting the rest of my lineup with his bad juju and stinking up the rest of my lineup. So Hodges has been great lately. I get
love Hodges,
wanting to decide that he deserves to be in consideration here, but I think everyone's healthy, everyone's doing good. Lockett's coming back, but with that busted up hand, I think that could actually benefit DK. At least they have to potentially pay attention to Lockett, even though I don't think he's gonna get a ton of targets in this first game back. I mean, he's got screws and a plate in his hand. How are you supposed to catch the ball like that? So I'm hoping for sort of like in AJ Green Bengals days type decoy for Lockett, and then Metcalf will actually get the conversions and targets there. So more Metcalf and Ayuk for me.
It's a brutal matchup for Metcalf. I know that, but I tend to lean where you're at with that I can't put my fantasy championship on the line with Zach Moss, and I applaud you guys if you can do that. I'm doing it with Cam Akers in one of my league, and it feels fine. I'm kind of okay with it, to be honest. But
after last week's performance,
at least Akers is producing.
He looked genuinely good last week as well. I was able to catch the game, which made me feel better about it. But I think I agree. I think I'd go DK, even though he'll face Sauce Gardner or DJ Reed, both of which have been exceptional this year. But I mean, he's established a high enough floor over the recent weeks that I'll do that.
Anthony, Murray or Dortch?
I love Week 17. That is just fantastic.
Yeah.
I like Dortch this week, but I'll go. Oh man, Lat Murray could get easily game scripted out. I'm playing him as well in one of my things, but goodness, no DeAndre Hopkins, David Blau at quarterback against Atlanta. God, Murray if you want 6 to 10, Dortch if you want a chance of 10 to 18.
with a floor of 3 to 4.
Zero.
Zero.
George has a 0.4, and I
Yeah.
like him, but
Yeah.
I mean, listen, you know, I'll go Dortch. I'll go Dortch in this.
That's my gut went to that too. Yeah, I think I don't know. Those are both really tough options. It's probably going to come down to a touchdown or bust. And at least with Dortch, I don't know what the scoring is, but PPR, we've seen him get tons of targets, tons of catches before in these, spot start situations. Whereas Murray's going to be pretty much touchdown or bust. So give me the guy at least with the, again, like you said, higher ceiling. So I'll go Team Dortch on that one too.
First game of the post Nathaniel Hackett era as well, which normally you see a team rally afterwards. I don't think we're going to see that this week with Denver, but that's another interesting thing. And I'll throw out a little dynasty tidbit trending on Sleeper right now.
Oh.
Tyler Beatty, who wished me a happy graduation last May, by the way. Because I mentioned that I drafted him in the middle of my graduation.
That's awesome.
But he got signed off the Ravens practice squad to the Denver Broncos this morning. So that's something else to be interested in. But all that means to me is that we know Murray's not catching passes. So I'll go Dortch. Don't blame anyone for going Murray.
Yeah.
J.J. Watt or Josh Sweat?
The storyline.
I know, right?
He looked fantastic. He was unstoppable last week.
Going out on a tear.
I'm going J.J. Watt. I'm riding this storyline against Atlanta too, which is a beautiful matchup.
Yeah,
I'm riding that to the moon. He'll get a sack, I think, against Ritter.
I think they're just he's probably saying, play me 100% snaps. I want to rack up as many stats.
They have nothing else to play for. He is the only thing on this team. Yeah.
If this were like 2 or 3 weeks ago, it would be Sweat easily. But with these game scripts and narratives going on, I think you want to go with Watt there too. And again, like you said, Eagles, if things go right for them this week, a lot of people are going to be hitting the bench. Depending on how that game goes. So if Eagles get out strong early, you're going to see both sides of the ball potentially guys, not playing as much as they should be or normally do. So, whereas, we think Watt will probably be in there. Like I said, he's probably going to not want to come off the field. So, I'm going with Watt there too.
For Marco, start 4. Palmer, Dotson, Thielen, Cooks.
Marcus Robinson, I'm guessing.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, Chris Moore.
Both Moores and Williams. It's a half PPR league.
Goodness.
Jesus, has Sky Moore even been playing?
No, not enough to trust
That's a
him.
shame.
Which is a real shame. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
But
Dotson's
that's what I was locked in for me.
Yeah.
And now we get in the weeds immediately with 3 other names. You got Palmer, who's been pretty steady, but obviously is now very clearly the third fiddle. Robinson's got a nice matchup with Pittsburgh. I guess I'd go Robinson as my number 2 right now. They're saying they want to get James Williams more involved. It's a great matchup for him to do so, but do you believe it, Santa?
Right.
I don't think I can trust him.
I mean, what has he had? 1 target each game that he's been back?
Pretty much.
And then had 1 long touchdown, and he's been 0 for 1 in the other 2 games. Like, it's tough to trust, and you're assuming the championship here. So, Palmer. So wait, the Chargers have clinched a playoff spot, correct?
Yes.
So
they can't win the division, but they could drop a spot in the wild card still.
That actually makes
they have something to play for.
Okay, all right.
Because they could drop 1 spot in the playoffs, and all of a sudden they're playing the number 2 seed as opposed to the 3 seed or something like that.
That kind of makes me like Palmer decently here, just because depending on how that game goes, honestly, whether they are getting blown out or they're doing the blowing out, I think either of those scenarios leans towards Palmer receiving more playing time and possibly Williams and Allen hitting the bench at some point in the game. To sort of preserve them. So Palmer and Dotson, I think, are pretty good there for me. God, for 2 more, we got to pick out of.
So
I mean, Cooks
Sky Moore's out
yeah.
for me. Looking at
Yeah.
his
easily, yeah.
offensive snaps for the last 4 games, his share, week 13, 42%, week 14, 40%, week 15, 38, week
Yeah.
16, 21.
Give me Thielen for the third. I
Yeah.
think we could see some some
I think
Thielen
Cooks is my
late season
fourth.
magic. And yeah, I was leaning Cooks. Chris Moore, it would really be the only other.
You're just
battle
guessing on which
there.
Texans guy gets
Exactly.
it, and I tend to lean with Brandon Cooks because he's the better player, and Chris
Yeah,
Moore really only was doing it when Brandon Cooks was out.
right.
So my 4 is Dotson, Thielen, Cooks, D-Rob, in coincidentally the order that you have it in there, with the exception of Palmer. So
Oh yeah, D-Rob. That's right.
yeah, I don't mind D-Rob this week. Honestly, I really don't.
So I think we only differ then on the one. I'm going Palmer, Dotson, Thielen, D-Rob. The Texans, Cooks has been, pouting and probably not a great locker room presence right now. He had 4 for 34 on 9 targets the last game on 76% of snaps. Oh, that's only a 44% catch rate. He did score. Wow. Great.
Yeah, another one called back as well on a hold.
Oh, God.
But I mean, you're not expecting. There's a good chance he doesn't score at all with Texas, Houston. So, I mean, listen, I think I can safely say I can get 6, and I can safely say I could get 3 from Palmer. So, and I don't know what Palmer's ceiling is with how many chefs are in the kitchen.
Oh God, in Baltimore with Huntley again is not exactly a awesome passing offense. Yeah, oh God, yeah. Give me. I'll switch to Cooks for the 4th one with you there. I'm good with that.
Sit 1, Duggar, Brisker, Holland.
Holland jumped out to me as the easier sit there. Yeah, I
Same
think
for me,
Holland. Yeah, he's playing deeper, I believe. I was doing some research because we had a subscriber asking about Rowe versus Holland, and it sounds like as shitty as this is, right? And if you think about this is what leads to a lot of IDP frustration, right? Rowe is like the worst player of the two, so they sort of are using him more in the box as a tackler because they need Holland to play that more cerebral free safety position.
Because if they put Rowe there, he gets toasted like the sun.
Yeah. so yeah, when you got that leads, obviously we know that more traditional deeper safety position doesn't always lead to the most IDP opportunities, whereas Duggar and Brisker are both pretty much balling out at the end of the year here. So I think Holland's the easy sit there.
Yeah, I tend to lean that even in a good matchup.
Sonny Aid, thoughts on Chase Young and Granderson?
I like Granderson this week.
Yeah, I've actually got him starting in a couple really deep dynasty leagues. So it's just it's almost impossible to trust Young his first game back. Are they gonna how much is he gonna play? Oh geez.
Yeah, he did get some run against San Fran last week, had a tackle or 2 tackles in FPD.
Okay. Wow. How many snaps did he play?
I don't know that. But honestly, regardless, for me at least, I'll probably go Granderson.
You can't trust him, right?
Yeah, it's also a tough matchup because we know Cleveland. Again, maybe we don't know Cleveland, Grant, but I imagine they're going to run the ball. And if they're running the ball, that's less chance for sacks for Chase Young. And if he's not going to be getting a ton of opportunities, we're expecting him to be crazy efficient. I'm just not expecting him to do that 2 games off the ACL.
Yeah, 58% last week. So maybe we see that
65, 70.
uptick, right, a little bit. But I was listening to part of my take episode. I'm a couple weeks behind on them, but they were interviewing Brian Baldinger, and he was talking about the Washington front 4, and he noted that when Young was healthy last, he noticed the motor wasn't going. He didn't think he was playing as hard as some of his teammates there. So if that's the mindset, especially coming off an injury,
Maybe he's not trusting it. Yeah.
Yeah, the season's probably lost at this point. I know they can technically get in with some help, but like, is he gonna be going all out, with a game, 2 games left? And depending on how this one goes. So he's just too tough to trust. And Granderson is probably playing for a contract next year. So he's going to be, uber motivated. So yeah, I think we agree on that one.
Will, I've got to play 3 of these guys: McKinnon, Walker, Stevenson, Jones, Watson. It's a half PPR league, and he's not understanding the reasoning why people are so high on Mondre.
Just because of last week's stink doesn't mean he wasn't a great option all year long. It's a great matchup with Miami that Miami might, not be putting up a ton of points as well this week. With Teddy, it could be less. I still expect them to move the ball. I think the Dolphins could win the game, but Ramondre gets dump downs too. So I don't know if he is including that bunch. I'm smashing Ramondre in there. I don't like Kenneth Walker this week. Christian Watson, I don't even know if he's playing. It's true game time decision. Could be a decoy even. So if he's playing 3 of them, I'm playing Stevenson, Aaron Jones. Honestly, I'm playing Jared McKinnon over Kenneth Walker, which might be a little bit crazy. But
hey, playing the hot hand. I mean, he's McKinnon's that ultimate efficiency guy, right? He doesn't. He's not dominating the snaps, but when he's on the field, he's getting targets and he's getting touches. So that's what's important. He's being utilized in the red zone and he's breaking big plays. So it's tough to bench a guy like that with that ceiling at this time of the year. Miami's a top 10 matchup for running backs. So I think that's part of the reason people are high on Stevenson. He's still getting a shit ton of the snaps. Is Damian Harris out again? I think, right?
I believe so.
Did they send him? Yeah, I think he.
I'll double check right now. I believe he is. Damian Harris is active. He is active off the injury report for the first time since week 12. Now,
but he still doesn't.
Off the injury report suggests he'll play, and yeah, Stevenson will still catch the ball. I'm still playing Stevenson personally.
Yeah. It's half PPR, so that's fine. I kind of want to get Watson in here, but it's tough with only 3.
I don't know if he's playing. He's a 4:00 slate, right?
So, he's like a game time decision, right?
Is he? Yeah, he's a game time decision. I don't actually even know if he was a afternoon game or an early game, but let me check right now. He is, he's an afternoon game. It's a great matchup with Minnesota, I know, but nobody knows right now if he's going to play. So I tend to lean away from situations like that in my championship. It just matters too much to potentially take a 0. You could pivot Aaron Jones to Christian Watson, same game, if you wanted to. And by then you would know if you need ceiling, which then Christian Watson would be the answer if he does play.
Very true.
But
that's kind of what I was leaning towards.
Yeah, there's a good chance Watson plays nothing or very little as well. So very boom bust.
I think locking in McKinnon and Stevenson as 2 of the solid ones. Walker, he's obviously still, he was banged up earlier this year. I'm sure he's still got fighting that injury against a really tough matchup against the Jets. So I agree. Like he's probably game scripted. He's a tough swallow there. So yeah, you go McKinnon, Stevenson, and then depending on where you're at, the 4:00 games, Jones, the safer guy, or Watson, if you need that boom to come back on, because he's going to give you all or nothing.
From a Facebook user, anyone worried about Crosby this week with the Raiders kind of tanking? Daniil Hunter is a replacement option instead.
That's certainly a good option. Let's see if Crosby's taking a dip in snaps. I don't think so yet.
If It's a tough matchup.
Nah,
I
he just
know.
played 100% of snaps.
It's a tough matchup. I really, Daniil Hunter's been a little bit up and down this year. He's been in good form of late, but obviously Indy and the Giants are much better matchups than the Packers would be. I don't like either of these matchups. I don't have any worries about Crosby in terms of being benched. So I'll ride with the guy that definitely got you there and has probably established just as much of a ceiling. And I mean, yeah,
Exactly.
it's Max Crosby for me.
They're both bad matchups, so go with the guy who's a
Exactly.
freaking consistent stud. I know the past I think past week or two possibly he hasn't gotten to the quarter. Yeah, past 2 weeks no sacks, but he's still oddly got this decent tackle floor for DN, which has been new to him this year. So yeah, I you gotta stick with Crosby. He's a workhorse.
I still dream of that 11 tackle game. What did he have? A 10 tackle game in week 10.
Yeah.
Which is just ridiculous.
Yeah. He started off the year with 10 tackles.
Yeah, just two times this year.
That's week wild. 10, he had the sack to go with it too. So that was
9 tackles week 3.
Yeah.
8 tackles week 4.
I think he's trending on 100 tackles this year.
I think they're just using him he's on
wild.
Yeah, he's well over 80 right now. So I mean they're using him I think very similarly to how Dallas is using Micah Parsons in a way. They're just dropping him everywhere to try to make and he's just such a high effort guy. There's not many guys in the NFL that run as hard as Max Crosby, and that just allows somebody that drops sometimes to make as many tackles.
Yeah. He's got 80 plus some tackles already. So if he gives us
wild.
2 more of those 9-10 tackle games here to finish out the year, he'll be making history here.
Make some nice incentive potentially.
Yeah.
Back to the previous question. Will said he's sitting Jones and Watson as of right now.
So he's going Walker. Oof.
It's a tough match. It depends on whether you. I genuinely think the Jets win that game. Yeah. And if that, I don't think that shapes up well for Walker. Then it's a really tough matchup with Quinnen healthy again, and that's just my take.
They're bottom 28th in giving up running back points, and that Seattle's the Geno Smith Cinderella story is rapidly turning back to a pumpkin. That whole offense. I know we were on DK. But just because he's a beast and should be a target monster, I just don't know that. It seems like Walker's almost that Latavius Murray touchdown or bust. Although he catches passes, maybe he'll get some dump offs. But so I guess I don't. It's not. Horrible,
I don't hate it,
right? But I think we're just saying you have a higher ceiling with either of Jones and Watson.
Yeah, it comes down to. I think Kenneth Walker's going to have a similar day than what he saw in week 15 against San Fran in terms of efficiency. And he was bailed out by getting 4 catches for 32 yards in that game. He's only had games of 4 catches 2 times all year. So that's the thing is if he gets dump downs, you're going to have a high enough floor. But I think you're going to get around 8 points, and I think you get more from Aaron Jones or Christian Watson, depending on who plays.
Start 2. Pay, Bosa, Burns, or Sweat?
Bosa. And the other name is Burns playing?
Oh no,
I didn't. Oh, he is playing. Sorry, I'm making out.
Is he banged up?
Maybe not. I for some reason I thought he was, but I guess not. But my answer is Pay and Bosa personally. I know we had this whole debate on Pay and Sweat before.
Right. Wait, who do the Panthers have? Tampa Bay. I feel like they're not a great matchup for.
I don't know if Sweat lines up against it, but no Wirfs this week.
Yeah, that's for Burns.
Oh yeah, sorry.
So that's a tough matchup, and we've talked about the Sweat. I want to say him, but yeah, I know. I feel like he could also be in for a letdown game with how hot he's been. Yeah, you're starting Bosa every week, no matter what.
Yeah.
Pay. So it's kind of between Pay and Burns for me. Let's see. What does Mr. Chef have? Yeah, he's got Pay up there. Let's go Pay. Pay's up high in the rankings too. Let's trust our boys. Pay Bosa.
All right. We got Will, Minshew, or Mike White.
Mike White.
Mike White.
Love Mike White. Mike White. Mike White.
He's playing for a job potentially too. Let's hope that
He's playing for the
Jets,
playoffs, man. It's a winning game.
True. And let's hope that the Jets do right by him and let him slang it a little bit. But yeah, I think it's White.
This next one, I'm not too sure about. Swift, Montgomery, Algier. And
Love
it's
Algier.
sit one.
Sit
Oh,
one.
sit one. Okay.
You can't get me to sit Algier this week, to be honest. I'm sorry. So it comes down between Montgomery and man. We have Khalil Herbert back this week for the first time in a while. I'll sit Montgomery. I think Detroit's defense has to prove something against the running back after last week's debacle, and we're really good a month prior to being embarrassed last week. So I do think they have to be better.
Do you trust DeAndre Swift's usage?
That's what I was going to say.
That is true. That means I have to start another one. I don't. I don't trust him. Chicago's great.
They hate him.
And Jamal Williams is very close to a few incentives. I know that as well. And as much as they're trying to win the game, you can make sure that Campbell's aware of that.
Bears are a nice matchup for.
It's a nice matchup.
And Detroit's actually been decent against the running back.
Yeah, they've been good outside of last week before they got 300 yards rushing. It was insane, and obviously everyone was benching Foreman everywhere. But I guess you go Montgomery. I just really don't like it with Herbert back, but Montgomery probably has a higher chance of scoring. So definitely Algier, and I guess I'll go Montgomery with a higher chance to punch it in than Swift.
Yeah, so if we're picking a sit, I'll say DeAndre Swift is tough.
Benching.
And we both agree. Although I get it, like we know what Swift's talent is, but it's just too tough to trust right now.
Yeah.
Give us, go. Algier is proving himself, and it's a great matchup. Montgomery's the workhorse. Herbert was back last week, but he didn't. He played like a decent amount of snaps, but wasn't getting touches.
Oh, he was back last week.
He came back for a little bit last week. But yeah, he was pretty insignificant in the box score. I mean,
6 or 7.
Yeah,
2 catches for -4 yards.
Exactly. So
goodness.
We know.
I just have a quick question for you.
Yeah.
If DeAndre Swift doesn't get hurt early in the season, do we see his usage stay the same as it was previously, or do we still see this big decrease?
We still see Jamal Williams getting a healthy carry. I do think we see more DeAndre Swift. I mean, we saw him get 15 carries in week 1. We saw him only get 5 in week 2, but still saw receptions. But I think it was always going to be a split. I do think we would have saw more Swift. And I'm sure he'll get some off-season surgery, like in February.
Something happened there in the locker room on top of that too, because if he's healthy enough to play, but this usage is ridiculous. He butted heads with somebody. We saw it leak out into the media a little bit, right?
Yep.
When Staley kind of called him out, when reporters said that Swift said this, he said, "Well, take that hunger to the game," or something like that. So something is going on there. So I don't know if that was exacerbated by the injury, but you would like to hope that, yes, without the injury, he would have been a little more consistent this year. But something else happened in that locker room that maybe leads us down the same exact road with it or without an injury.
Marco, start 2. Wilson, David, Fields, Anzalone.
I mean, this is the right order, right?
I refuse to trust a Browns linebacker. I'm sorry. I've been burnt so many times this year by Browns linebackers of picking the wrong one, and all of a sudden one plays 30% snaps. And at this point, they're so hurt that you'd think it'll be Fields has to be, but
and none of these linebackers are the original starters from week 1.
So gross.
David has a tougher matchup, but I mean he's been as steady as it comes. And Logan Wilson's on fire. Like Logan Wilson's locked in for me because he's been on such good form. this year, or this month. So I'll go Logan Wilson. I'll go Levante David.
Yeah, I guess you could make an argument potentially for Anzalone versus David,
Refuse.
but you've got two pretty. I would consider David a borderline stud there. So you've got two studs and two Jags. You've got your right answer there
Yeah.
in the right order. So Wilson, David, pretty easily.
Start 2, Adams, Olave, Lazard, or Slayton. It's a full PPR league.
Oh boy. Man. I'm still playing Adams this week, and I've slotted in Chris Olave over Josh Jacobs as of 10 minutes ago. And if that sticks to 1 o'clock, God help my soul. But I'm gonna go. Lazard's a great play if Watson sits. And will we know that before any of the other ones? I don't think so, right? Because they're both earlier kickoff. You could pivot from Adams if you wanted to pivot from Devontae Adams to Alan Lazard in your championship week, as we all expected. But man, I'm benching Slayton of this 4 pretty easily. I think I'll go Adams and Lazard, honestly. But
oh boy,
I want someone in this Minnesota matchup. I want one of the wide receivers against Minnesota.
Yeah, it could be a shootout. I get it. Oh man,
I don't mind if you go. I might go. I'll go Olave and Lazard. Actually, for God's sake, what am I?
Yeah, I'm like, what do we do with Adams, man? It's so.
I'm genuinely putting myself in your shoes. I can't bring myself to bench Adams this week. I genuinely cannot physically bring myself to do it. It's still a good matchup. Stidham isn't the greatest. I don't think he's the worst. I'll go Adams and Lazard for upside, Olave for floor, which I know doesn't help right now because we have Olave kicking off early. I think I'll go Lazard. I don't know if Watson plays.
This is so hard. Yeah, Slayton is the easy cut here. I want to bet. I want to bet on talent at this point of the season, right? Oh God, I gotta say Adams and Olave for me. I know we're not helping you great here with the second decision, but what would you do, Grant? Who are you starting out of these? Well, 3 essentially.
I don't trust LA or Las Vegas.
I get it.
How healthy is Olave? Is he?
He was questionable. He's expected to play. He was expected to play early in the week. He wasn't a game time decision. The thing is, in my eyes, I know that if I was a Devontae Adams owner, I can't sit him. I can't bring myself to sit him. So, and truthfully, we can say whatever we want. I feel like you, Jose, would be feeling the same way.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm deciding between Olave and Lazard. And truthfully, as well, as bad as Adams has been for a month now, Carr was a big reason for that. Still won't be much worse than Derek Carr over the last month is 36 in passer rating. And nobody wants to talk about that because everyone wants to defend Derek Carr for Josh McDaniel. But I can't stand Derek Carr.
And I've always said even a backup quarterback is going to target your number 1 receiver more than any other receiver.
Could hyper target. Could 100% hyper target. And Devontae Adams is still Devontae Adams. So I'm going Adams and Lazard. That's
I like Slayton here as well.
Not full PPR for me. I think it's just, and also I don't love the matchup against Indy. Even though Indy was obviously torched last week, I do think I just like Lazard against Minnesota too much. That's what it comes down to.
The matchup play, I could see that. Yeah, I could see that over Olave coming off the injury. So, I definitely would. That's good reasoning.
Goff or Brady?
Goff. Easy.
And from our own Skinny, Leonard Floyd, Joey Bosa, or Chase Young?
First game back, Joey Bosa. Second game back, Chase Young. And then you got Leonard Floyd, which is obviously very up and down and injured himself with an illness.
Yeah.
Stomach bug. And it's a 4 o'clock kickoff.
Awesome.
So, yeah. Or afternoon kickoff. I'm trying to work my central time into everything I'm saying now. But Joey Bosa's you could pivot to if in terms of the same kickoff time. I'll go Bosa.
Yeah, that's who jumped out to me too. I'm Bosa.
Let's see here. Just some chatter between a couple people. They're going back and forth between how long Burrow will play. Is Burrow or
The whole
Fields
game.
the right play? Just because they play the entire game. So
Why wouldn't they?
I don't see why they wouldn't. Dotson or Dobbs or Dubes?
Dotson.
With Wentz, it's a little bit of a boost too because Wentz refuses to target
That
Jeremy
one's
Gordon.
me too. I know the matchup in Green Bay is good, but yeah, Dotson.
Knox or Andrews?
I have Andrews higher in my rankings. I understand the question entirely.
By how much?
Substantially, because I'm not a Knox guy.
Yeah, same here.
But I have tried to lower. I mean, Mark Andrews is barely a tight end one for me this week. Let me see where I have him. I have him at. I'm going to lower him for posterity's sake, but yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to drop him. Yeah, I was flipping between this all morning. I had him at tight end 10 still. Yeah, I mean, I have Dawson Knox down as a low end too. Still, I'm not buying into the random production at times. He's still a blocker.
Let's see. Let me check out the points per as of late. Oh God, yeah, the Steelers are a horrible matchup for Andrews. And then Knox. You know, the Bengals are literally right in the middle of the pack, giving up points to tight ends. So, oh my God, we know Andrews. I'm sorry, I'm gonna split the.
Go for it. I'm genuinely adjusting on Andrews right now, but I'm still gonna take him over Knox. But I'm genuinely lowering him as well.
He stinks.
I'm with you, Steve.
Yeah, I'm gonna just go Knox. I'm there. I mean, Knox is. I'm going Knox with the understanding that he's probably touchdown or bust. You could get 5 points out of Andrews with how stinky he's been with Huntley at QB, and like 0 or 2 from Knox, but Knox could score too. And Andrews has been just a big nothing burger lately.
Yeah.
So yeah, it sucks. I think about those two guys from the beginning of the season, right? Like
you can do that with all these questions. It's quite
unreal.
Got a question from Axon, our very own Axon Harding. Jewel, Singleton, Devondre Campbell, Morrow, or Luvu?
Oh, goodness.
Sit 2. Man, Jewel and Singleton are fucking crushing it.
It's impossible for me to sit Singleton and probably impossible for me to sit Jewel. And I do like Morrow this week. So that means I'd be sitting Campbell and Luvu. I know we have Luvu ahead of Morrow.
Yeah.
And potentially Campbell too, but that's where I come out on.
I'm thinking that Green Bay, the Vikings Green Bay matchup could be it's going to have a lot of offensive firepower.
Yeah.
So I kind of like Campbell in there. And then who did Broncos even have? I don't even know. Oh God, the Chiefs. Oh boy, that's tough. Morrow should be busy in Detroit though. I think
believe in Morrow this week
is an easy sit. It's the second sit that's really hard.
I'm going Campbell because I just think we've seen more fluctuation than the other guys. And also, we haven't seen a high ceiling from him. It's just, yes, he had 10 tackles in week 13, his first game back. But aside from that, we've had 3 and 4 tackles games in the last 2 weeks. So
yeah, he's slowed down.
It's equally in the realm of possibilities that he face plans for you. And I don't think any of the other guys can say that.
Yeah, the ceiling almost isn't even there. So, all right, you convinced me. We'll sit Luvu and Campbell. I like it.
Incoming 20 tackle game from.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, he'll do another pick 6.
All right, guys, we're gonna have a couple minutes left here. Let's do a rapid fire. Let's see if we can get through these questions here.
Let's
go. How do you guys feel about Judy?
Love him. Only player that's starting in all 3 of my finals.
Nice. Yeah, I'd be playing him pretty confidently.
Uche, I'm not even sure how you say his name.
Uche
and Spillane.
Spillane with some hesitancy.
Floor ceiling. If you
Yeah.
need the boost Uche, if you're a safer player than Spillane. So Spillane for tackles, Uche if your league scores sacks really high.
Yep.
Kamara, Dylan, Gabe, London. Pick one. It's a PPR league.
Kamara. Maybe
Ugh.
Dylan.
Yeah, I'm going Dylan. Sorry, I'm just
Goodness.
big anti Kamara this year. Can't do it. Stinks.
Yeah.
He's washed. Dylan.
This team is washed. That's what I'll say. I'm willing to go to 15 touchdowns allowed on the ground this year by Minnesota. I'll go Dylan.
Buckner, Hollins, or Myers? Or I'm sorry, I'm reading the wrong one. Deontay, Hollins, or Myers?
Oh.
I like Myers' gut reaction.
Yeah, why not Miami, right? I mean,
Yeah.
they should avoid Xavier Howard too.
All right. He's got Buckner and Pace starting, but should he change one out for Sealer or Granderson?
I can't bench Deron Payne. Deron Payne's been excellent, and Buckner's also been excellent. So I'll rock it. I like the other options too, though.
I want to change it now.
Pick three: McKinnon, Dylan, Kirk, Kittle, or Jamal Williams.
I like Jamal Williams to bounce back this week. We talked about how we like AJ Dillon.
Good matchup.
Tough to bench Kittle too. I think that's the three I go. I go Dillon, Jamal Williams, Kittle.
And I'm Kittle, Dylan, McKinnon.
Let's see here. Andrews, Komet, or Taysom?
I've Komet higher.
I'm with you. Let's do it.
I'm starting Komet over Goddard in my championship in my home league right now.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on Caden Ellis?
Man's a machine. 7 to 10 tackles. Tally it down.
He still was getting playing time with Werner healthy, so I'm unless you have amazing options.
Yeah.
I'm starting
him. Bench one: Jewel, Oluokun, or Kendricks.
Wow.
Oh my goodness. Jesus Christ.
This is tough.
Jewel for me because I'm just going on matchups because all three are locked in studs for me.
Yeah,
you can't bench the NFL's leading tackler, and I can't bench Eric Kendricks because I love Eric Kendricks.
Obviously, you can't bench Oluokun. I was going to go Kendricks, but then thinking of the matchups, as good as he's been,
we're splitting hairs.
Yeah, I'm with you to bench Jewel.
Hit that thumbs up button.
Definitely do that.
Nwosu, Sweat, Hayward, Thibodeau, or Dexter Lawrence?
Or Sealer.
Or Sealer, yep.
Starting two of them. I like Lawrence this week.
Ooh,
Cam Hayward's been in very good form. What is it? It's
only 2 points. Yeah, that's all. I'm like, yuck.
Oh, this is difficult. This is really difficult. Probably Thibodeau and Lawrence for me. I'll double up on the Giants.
Yeah.
Thibodeau because I'm chasing tackles all of a sudden.
Right. Now their sacks are pretty much out the window. So Lawrence, I like.
I don't mind Nwosu, but I mean we've seen up and down needs.
I'm going I'll go Hayward and Lawrence. Give me the inside guys.
Yeah, Hayward's on fire right now. So
Pay, Sweat, or Thibodeau?
Pay. We've been doing we've a lot of quick Pay Josh Sweat questions, man.
Let's be consistent. Yeah, let's stick with Pay.
Gay or Masterson?
Ooh,
Masterson.
I know he's going to be on the field a ton and
probably
pretty motivated to sign somewhere next year. So
man just has to get tackles. There's no one else to.
Let's go Masterson.
Harrison Smith or Tyreek Woolen?
Smith? We've been talking about this in the subscriber chat. Smith has been
a pain.
Crap since his injury. But he's still playing a ton, and it's a good matchup. I'm gonna stick with him though, despite saying all that. I'm sticking with Smith. The CBs, they're so
hit or miss,
fluky and inconsistent. Give me the guy who's gonna be on the field a ton in a potential shootout.
Can I throw out a start sit I just got from a friend of mine as well?
Yeah,
go for it.
Jeff Wilson, Darius Slade, and Elijah Moore. I've been talking about it all week, and I have given him a different answer each day.
It's Wilson and Moore probably for me are the picks. Slayton is too tough to trust in your championship. Does Mike White get the ball to Moore? I kind of want him to.
Seattle can be beat in the slot. Does Elijah Moore get
Exactly.
enough work in the slot? I think he does. But obviously, we're talking Jeff Wilson, Darius Slayton. It's disgusting anyway. I think Slayton probably has the highest floor of the bunch. I'll go Moore for ceiling. Full PPR, if that changes anything.
Give me Moore.
All right, we got Victor, start 1, Masterson, Ellis, Collins, or Jalen Smith.
Whew. So it's definitely between the
Collins
first two.
That's Landon Collins?
Oh.
No, wait, it's Landon Collins. Where am I missing a Collins? Well, either way, not Collins, because I don't know who Collins is.
Zaven, probably.
Zaven Collins, thank you.
Yeah.
Goodness. That's embarrassing. Masterson for me. I don't mind Ellis, but I think Masterson has a ridiculously high ceiling this week.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say Masterson floor, Ellis ceiling because they send him
floor and ceiling because I think we could see a 10 to 15 tackle game. I think that's possible.
So Masterson probably is the best overall pick there.
Judy, Akers, or Jacobs?
I'm facing this exact situation, which I threw in our chat, in our Discord chat. Unbelievably difficult. I am with you, my man. I feel your pain. I have decided to go Judy and Akers. I am sitting Jacobs for Chris Olave in my leagues. I'm sitting Jacobs. They have allowed like one 100-yard game all year. They've allowed 5 rushing touchdowns all year. It's not. I just don't. I traded the world for Derrick Henry and Josh Jacobs. I'm not playing either of them in my finals.
And then his question continues for running backs. Robinson, Akers, or Jacobs?
Not Jacobs again. So now I'm deciding between Robinson and Akers. And Robinson, obviously, without Gibson, in a nice matchup against Cleveland. And you have Cam Akers, who's looking excellent, has a great matchup against the Chargers. So,
and a great QB in LA.
Yeah. I tell me, Browns fan, what do you think?
Coaching. Hill or Njoku?
I don't know if we actually gave an answer to that. I'm going to say Akers is my. I'm going to go Akers over B-Rob. I like B-Rob, but yeah.
That's how I said. Yeah, I hate Taysom Hill.
I have Njoku higher this week. I have Njoku higher.
Yeah,
and it seems like Watson is he likes Njoku.
If he's healthy, it seems like he's locking on.
It's a tough matchup, but I had Njoku as a top 5 play, which speaks more to the position than it does to Njoku. But I still have Njoku just because he's a better player.
Yeah, Hill. We know what Hill does. It's
Bobby Wagner, is he a top 15 linebacker this week?
Fluctuating around. I mean, the man's playing with a passion right now that the rest of the team is also invigorating. Chargers are a great matchup.
He's on LB too, so yes.
All the dump down Sackler, man. Yeah, so yeah.
Eagles or Jaguars?
Defenses maybe defenses.
Okay.
Eagles against the Saints, Jaguars against the Texans. Jaguars with less to play for, but still playing their starters, and the better matchup. Chauncey's obviously out. I was going to say we could have a revenge game, which is a shame.
I don't think he's back.
No, he's long out. But I'll go Jaguars, even though
I'm going Eagles.
Our David Kelly roast me for 1. Barton over Warner and Ellis for my LB 5 and 2. Richie James over AJ Dillon.
Goodness. And roast you for that.
Foreman and Jacoby Myers.
Richie James should not be over any of the 3, in my opinion. Definitely not over AJ Dillon. That's what I'll roast you for, David.
Yeah. The first one is
one's I understand.
Yeah, not a big deal, but offense. I'd say I'd be in the same boat there. I like all 3 of them over Richie James.
Hodgins or Gage in a full PPR.
Oh boy,
Hodgins,
yes.
baby.
This is my week 17 content that I love. I'll go. We have Julio back, which doesn't factor in great. We got but I'll go Gage. He's got 50 yards in back-to-back games. I guess that's.
Should I replace Jonathan Allen for Thibodeau in a championship matchup?
Didn't we start with this?
I
know
we did start with it. We're going back full circle. Oh wow! I mean, really scoring dependent for me. I think if you get
it's a different person.
I think if we're I'll go Thibodeau.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing. I would. We're telling him to replace someone though. Tinkering in the beginning of the.
Go with
Listen,
your
we're not
stud.
tinkering. We're not
Go-
tinkering. He's tinkering.
Go with who you've been starting.
I reject that philosophy as I take Josh Jacobs out of all my lineups and lose all of my finals because of it, probably.
I would go Thibodeau. I like his ceiling higher than Allen's.
Waller or Everett?
Oh,
Happy New Year to you too, Victor.
yeah.
I have Everett. Oh goodness, God, I hate both these guys so unbelievably much.
A big 0 last week.
I have them back to back in my rankings. I have Waller's my tight end 16, Everett is my tight end 17. Pick your poison.
Everett's gonna
full PPR. I'll go Waller, I guess.
I'm going Everett. He's gonna make up for last week.
I think there's a chance that Waller could be the hyper targeted guy. It's just PPR, maybe. They're both not used enough.
All right, we got 4 questions left. We're cutting it off after 4 questions. These next 4. Why does Mike like Aaron Jones so much if he loves Dylan as well?
So much. I don't like him so much. I just liked him enough. And again, in terms of it's the reasoning I gave before of 15 rushing scores allowed that on the year. That allows a lot of leeway for Dylan to get a touchdown. 15 carries for 55 yards and a touchdown is what I think Dylan can do this week. And if Aaron Jones gets his usual touches, he can get it done through receptions at PPR. And Minnesota's defense can't do anything.
Chubb or B-Rob, and choose one. Deontay Johnson, London, Shark, full PPR.
Chubb or Brian Robinson. I refuse to not say Nick Chubb in that. I'm sorry. I know it's a great matchup with Brian Robinson, but it's a tough one for Chubb. I know that. God. 79 rushing yards allowed in the game per game this year by Washington, 5th lowest in the league. You know, Chubb's not getting a ton of receiving work. Oh man, maybe
Robinson.
I might be talking myself into B-Rob. Good
and then Johnson, London, a Shark.
And give me London in that.
I'll go Chubb and I'll go London. Fine. Yeah, that's what I'll go with. I'll go Deontay. Actually, I'll pivot Deontay over Drake London. That's what I'll do that.
Walker or Jones, and it's his final answer.
We have the very generic Jones, and I'm assuming this is Michael Walker.
This is the big one, with the running backs. No, for his running backs.
Kenneth Walker, Aaron Jones.
Yeah, we did McKinnon and Stevenson. Okay. So for the third, Kenneth Walker or Jones / Watson was in there, but I was sticking with Aaron Jones.
And last one,
back. I'll stick with Aaron Jones. Yeah.
Last one, championship on the line. Need to fill a running back in a flex spot. It's a half-point PPR. Gabe Davis, Latavius Murray, Zach Moss, Marquise Brown, Johan Johnson, George Pickens, and Tyler Algier. Pick 2.
Algier's filling the running back spot, so we have a flex spot to pick one of the bench, one of the rest for me. Is that the same for you, Santa?
Yeah, definitely Algier. Absolutely.
Okay. So we're picking one of the other names, positionless regardless. For me,
the jumps out for Dotson.
That's what was jumping to me too. Yeah, I don't mind going Moss as well. I really don't mind going Moss, but I'll go Dotson.
Awesome. Hey guys, well that ends our show for today. Thank you guys for answering or dropping in all your questions for us to answer. Without you guys, we would not have any content to be putting out here on Sunday mornings. With that being said, Mike, how can everybody find you?
Yeah, you can find me on my Twitter at Michael__Scully. You can just look up Michael Scully and it'll be there on Twitter. I put out a lot of prop things, a lot of IDP things, a lot of offense things. I try to have my hand in multiple pots, not as many as Santa, but I try my hardest to match the intensity that Dynasty Santa brings every week. So that's where you check me out, man.
Steve, where can they find you?
Yeah, I just pretty much live on Twitter at Dynasty Santa. DM's open. Anybody ever has questions. We are trying to get a mailbag show off the ground here. So if any of you guys watching would like to discuss anything outside of the start sit realm, I want to talk rules, setups, roster constructions, dynasty profiles, basically anything besides start sits. hit me up, DMs on Twitter. And we're gonna especially in the off season try to get a mailbag show off the ground. So
All right, we had one question sneak in: Devontae Smith or Waddle?
Waddle. I'm starting my star. Bridgewater still capable quarterback. Good matchup.
Yeah. Oh, I wanted to say Smith off my gut, but I've heard. What's his name? The good corner for the Saints is back. So
Marshawn Lattimore's back this week as well, which I imagine he matches up on AJ Brown.
Probably,
sense,
but
which shapes up well for Devonta Smith as well. But
the other corners have been playing good though. There's a rookie, Alante Taylor, I think has been pretty decent. Maybe not shy. I'm thinking maybe IDP.
The thing for me is Waddle's great. And
Dolphins are must win too, right?
Yes, the Dolphins are desperately trying to win this game, and I still believe in Teddy Bridgewater enough to play PPR purposes.
Yeah,
I don't mind going Smith either. I don't hate that.
Yeah, it's two good choices.
Yeah.
All right. With that being said, good luck to everybody in their championship matchups. Hope you guys come out champions this week.
Yes.
And we will see you guys. Well, sits done till next year. But
I was going to talk. I might try to jump on next week for people. If you're not I might just shoot the shit with people next week.
Okay,
we'll see. So yeah, if anybody still happens to be playing in 18, I might jump on next week around this time, and we could even just discuss look backs at this season if
absolutely.
Played, so we'll see.
With that being said, maybe Steve, we'll see you guys next week, and then best of luck. We'll see you guys later.
Good luck,
everybody.